What's up, world? How's everybody doing today, tonight, tomorrow, as I always say, whatever time, realm, dimension you're living in? Hope you're doing great, feeling blessed, no stress, like a crow over your head as soon as you hit record. Caw! Shut up. So, y'all, I'm out here, just got done fixing this. Pay no attention to the water. It's not leaking out of the pipes. It came there afterwards. Really, dude? So... As this crow so rudely interrupts me, I wanted to talk to y'all about something serious real quick. Alright, y'all, I'm back. Got the work done, holes filled in. Truck not wanting to move. Stuck in a hole, gotta go. Alright, y'all, I want to talk about Grenfell, the towering inferno out there. This thing's crazy, y'all. Alright, first of all, sometimes I wish I was blind. I wish I was one of the sheeple. But then again, I don't. I take all that back. I don't mean that one bit. I'm happy I see. I just wonder what it's like to not see everything, to not wonder about everything. I think that's the one thing that really gets to people like you and I. We wonder about everything. We can't just see an event and sit back and go, it's another event, bless your hearts, and prayers for you. But we see things totally different. We see things, the what ifs, the could be's, and the probablys. The similarities to 9/11 with this event. A towering, a big old building burning up in a blaze. Only difference is the fire on this building is worse than 9/11. Yet, notice something? This building hasn't collapsed. Even though they keep saying it over and over. And they're probably in their minds hoping, oh God, I hope this building collapses so people don't start going, well, why did 9/11 collapse with that fire up top? And this one, the whole building's on fire and it hasn't collapsed. These things, you got those similarities, the fact that the news keeps announcing that it's probably going to fall. Then one guy came out and said, no, it's not going to fall. I got some clips here I want you guys to watch and just see if you kind of get that same feeling I do. Not only with the building falling, but people saying things like, stay inside. They were told to stay inside, okay? What is it? When a giant building's on fire, why do they tell people to stay inside? Are they supposed to have a camp out, get some crackers and some marshmallows and hot dogs, have a little cookout, enjoy? No. If somebody tells you to go back into a burning building, unless you're saving a kitten or a person, get out of the building. Don't listen to them, y'all. I don't know where this came from, this safety. It's safer in the burning building than it is outside. I'd rather take the chance of something falling on my head. Okay, speaking of, people were supposedly jumping out of the building too. People were talking about they were worried it was going to fall over, but we all know buildings don't just fall over anymore. They come straight down perfectly. Like demolition expert had something to do with it. Even though they say they can't hardly do something that perfect. The way the production was on this, the way the news was, like watching Good Morning London, it was like watching V for Vendetta. It's just this eerie feeling to it, like everything's pre-planned. This whole production works together once again. The interviews were quite eerie. And you're going to see one interview, actually a news reporter do an interview, and I don't know if this is part of the show or what, but you'll see what I'm talking about. He kind of calls somebody out. And one other thing too, I want to show some clips real quick. Here is the building, right, on fire. Well, here supposedly is the building the next day. Notice the difference. This building doesn't look like it's all the way burned up. Everything around it looks like an empty cast or set for a movie. Things running, but nobody's around. Where's all the reporters? Where's all the people? It's like everybody broke for lunch or something. No firefighters. You see running water, but nobody working it. It's just really weird. Everything just seems like a big set, almost like they have another building to get footage from or something strange. We know these events, we know how they handle these things. Yes, there is that chance that this is just real. This is some people, some shady ass slumlords who didn't take care of a building and the damn thing caught on fire, trapping people, not only trapping them, but they had no warning in a building with no fire alarms, no centralized fire alarm system. It's just, if you choose to have one in your house, you can have one basically. And so half these people had no warning. They just opened up the windows and like, oh look, the sun. Oh no, that's not the sun. Oh no. I mean, basically you had one choice. You either stuck it out and hope they put it out, or you Mary Poppins your ass off the top of it. And unfortunately, some people did, I think. I mean, we don't know anymore. That's the sad part, and that's where I say it sucks. Because you have to question these things. You have to wonder what's really going on here. So have a look. I'll see you guys in a minute, and we'll talk about a couple of things. All right, check it out.
Shorter buildings surrounding it. Is there a concern that this structure could come down?
Yeah, it's a good question, and initially there was that concern, and as you look at this building, you can only imagine structurally it looks incredibly unsafe. Police have cordoned off several blocks surrounding this apartment complex. The train station, which runs adjacent to the building, has also been closed off. Still remain here on scene, which leads us to believe, as we look at this, that it is structurally safe enough for firefighters to continue to carry out that work. But of course, that concern about the safety of this building, whether or not it could collapse, a looming threat and a concern for those in this immediate area.
Good morning, Britain. Terrible breaking news in the last few hours. A major fire has ripped through a 27-storey block of flats in West London. The fire is still ongoing. Emergency services are battling the blaze.
Well, many residents are still trapped inside, waving for help and building ropes from sheets in order to escape.
We saw people looking out the windows screaming help, help, flashing their lights and everything. And now all those windows, people are gone.
But there are now concerns the tower is unstable and could collapse.
The reports that some rescuers are inside the building desperately searching for survivors. All morning we'll be live from this horrendous scene.
More than 200 firefighters tackling this blaze. It's the Grenfell Tower in West London near White City, 27-storey block of flats. At least 120 homes in this block. Multiple reports of residents being trapped. Police say people are being treated for a range of injuries.
To say the entire building was engulfed by fire very quickly, and there are fears now that it may collapse.
For the last few hours, who have been just watching people who are trying to get out of that building, standing at windows, screaming and shouting for help. Now we understand that they originally had been told to stay in their flat.
To save lives. Take a look at this video. You can see how intense the flames were earlier this morning. People were rushed to the hospital. 20 of those people are in critical condition, and there are presumably more people trapped in the rubble. The fire raced through the 24-floor apartment building known as the Grenfell Tower, drawing more than 45 fire trucks and 200 firefighters to the scene. The mayor of London saying he will demand answers regarding the fire. People who live there apparently expressed concerns about safety in the building before. There's also controversy this morning about an apparent stay-put policy in the building where people were told to stay inside in the event of a fire.
That the emergency services are saying now that there is no danger that the tower will collapse. But what there is a danger of is a lot of this sort of stuff which is blowing around all the streets here. It started just before 1 a.m. in the morning as on the 4th floor. It then spread rapidly, engulfing the entire 24-storage structure. 200 firefighters were sent to tackle the blaze. The tower was built in 1974, but it had undergone a major refurbishment completed only last year, which did include an overhaul of the heating system.
Emergency people telling him what to do in the house. And I spoken to his wife, and she said at the moment they're telling them not to come out.
Yes.
And they advise her to put towels around the door, edges of the door, and then she said,
stay indoors. Stay indoors. Yes, I'll keep saying this, stay indoors. But we came out via the stairs, fire exits.
Yeah, and you disobeyed them.
I have to come out, I'm not going to. This is, where is this hazard safety?
There was more fire, but people in the windows.
On the windows.
Yeah.
And they said one of them had actually jumped. You know.
You're very close. Are you worried the tower's going to collapse?
That's why, I mean, I was out here from, say, like 1:45, and I went to bed about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, wondering, thinking, you know, is it going to fall towards my end? Because, you know, you've got the school in the centre as well.
That's been evacuated.
Yes.
But in the 21st century, this is a human disaster of absolutely catastrophic proportions. And I mean, it's clearly man-made.
Well, I'm afraid that is correct. It's an enormous disaster, and there will quite clearly need to be an investigation here. And I'm not going to preempt the investigation.
But I mean, the eyewitnesses who talked to us, who watched from outside, saw the outside of the building fueling the fire. In other words, the cladding actually adding to the inferno, as if it was actually not remotely fire resistant. So, I mean, in a tragedy, but really, or in the Philippines. But here, in a first world, fifth largest economy, we've got this ghastly image of a burning tower.
Authorities and the regulations.
In a word, can you guarantee that the poorer people who are moved out of here will not be replaced by rich people being built new fancy flats to replace it?
John,
can you guarantee it?
I really think that's just an awful allegation. In the present circumstances, I'm not going to justify it with a
personal undertaking that the people.
We've just refurbished this building. Now, I accept that we will have to look very carefully at why this refurbishment appears to have accelerated or made the fire worse than it might otherwise have been.
I was merely asking for a guarantee for people who've lived in this.
No, it was refurbished for the people who do live here. There was no suggestion that people who live here should live anywhere else. We wanted their homes to be better, to be warmer, to be better served by the heating systems, and that's why we undertook this refurbishment.
Mr. Paget-Brown, thank you very much indeed.
Imagine the horror, trapped in a 24-story block as it's swept by fire. The Grenfell Tower in West London, home to over 100 families. But this morning, an unknown number of people are dead and dozens are in hospital after an inferno engulfs the full height of the block in the early hours.
One over another.
There was no fire alarms anywhere because we don't have a kind of integrated fire alarm system. It's just everyone's house for itself. And it just caught up like a matchstick.
It's whacked out stuff, huh? The way that reporter called that guy out, basically stating how the elites would just burn a building down to get what they want. Wild stuff, y'all. I don't know if that reporter will have a job or if that's just part of the production. But these events have been cranking up. Like I said, this could be nothing. This could just be a building burning down due to crappy landlords or slumlords. But the way things have been lately, it's gotten to a point where, I don't know, it seems like it's always something these days. And we can't trust them, y'all. We cannot trust them at all. As far as we can throw them, we can't trust them. So we need to keep our eyes open. We need to stick together, like I said in that one video, the last one. We need to be looking out for each other. As my boy, used to be Digital, but now he's Marky Mark, Digital Intel, said, it's looky here, looky here, looky here, looky here. And that's what they're constantly trying to do, is get us to looky here, while the other hand's doing something else. Y'all, we got a lot of eyes in this truth community, and if we can put those petty differences aside and work together, maybe we might not be able to stop them, but at least maybe we could slow them down a little. If we work together, that's a lot of eyes looking at all those looky heres. And this was a big one. This was a big looky here. So I'm wondering what else is going on. We just had the shooting also here in the U.S. at the ball field. Somebody tried to blast some senators out of their cleats. But y'all, there's just a lot of strange coincidences here. The news is very eerie. The comments by people, the fact, people being told to go back inside, the renovations that went on there already, were they just setting this building up to burn down? We see the event that just happened here in Mexico. Same deal. They had renovations. Now the place is burned up. Also, they got black rain coming down. Not just oil, like spraying up, like Jed Clampett. They got black rain filling buckets up. There's some weird stuff going on right now. We got those powers that be bringing evil to this earth. And they're creating evil left and right with these false flags, these productions, and they're trying to take us down, y'all. And the only way we're ever going to make it is sticking together somehow. Look, you don't have to like me, but we can work together. I got people I work with. I don't quite like them, don't tell them. But I don't like everybody I work with. But you know what? I work with them. And we bust ass and we get shit done. And that's kind of how life needs to be. You don't have to like everybody. You ain't got to be kumbaya, hugging, holding. I don't have to think like you. You don't have to think like me. We can like different things and be different, but we can still have that common goal to work at. And when these events happen, we've got to be looking out for each other, y'all. Because these things, like I say, they're cranking off. They're getting bigger. They're getting badder. And we need to be ready. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the day comes where y'all all say, dude, you're full of you know what? None of that stuff you said happened, and I got this bug out bag. What am I supposed to do with it? Wait on a tornado? Yeah, maybe. But just like insurance, you have it for that what if. So it's not a bad thing to have. Alright? We need to be prepared and be ready. There's no telling what's next. I always say we never know what tomorrow brings or takes away. And these guys are constantly doing stuff from D-Wave, CERN, Agenda 21, you name it, go down the list, chemtrails, false flags. I'm sure I'm missing dozens of others. But they're happening on a daily basis. And they're ramping up, it seems like. And my gut's telling me, look out. And we need all of our eyes focusing and looking out for these problems and looking out for each other. Alright, y'all. If I hear any more news about this thing, if the building comes down and takes down a school and it gets reported 10 minutes earlier on the BBC, I'll make sure I get a video up. But until then, thank you so much, y'all. And as always, y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay incredible. See ya.